Let's go. All right, four more Sweet 16 matchups on Friday. A little bit of Major League Baseball as well. We're going to give you two baseball looks and one look for the Sweet 16 on this show. We were
I,
two and
I,
one
I got a
yesterday,
question
Zinno.
for you. I got a
Yes,
question for you. Where's your douchey Michigan jacket since they're playing tonight?
I told you I was going to set the only time next time you see that on me, I will set myself on fire, a la
Okay.
the Rage Against the Machine album cover.
Yes.
And yes, everyone, look, we have fun on the show. I know what that cover signifies. We're not trying to make light of anything. So, but
What does this signify? I forgot.
it was for the free Tibet movement. But let's not
Ah,
start on a dour note. Let us start.
yeah.
Um,
Let's
yes,
start
let's start with some games.
on a happy. Speaking of dour, we just talk about last night for a second? For 1 second?
You
Is that
went
okay?
3-0.
I did. But I had proclaimed widely that I thought Arizona was going to beat Duke. And when I tell you last night, if you didn't watch that game, BP, that entire game swung in the last 28 seconds of the first half. Like, just the complexion, I don't think people can really appreciate. It was tied at 42 all with 28 seconds left. And then Duke went down and hit a three. Cooper Flag's really annoying. He's really good, but he's really annoying if you bet against him. Um, and Arizona had the ball, and they were dribbling. And instead of driving to the basket, and instead of trying to get a foul or go for a layup, this is what happens at college hoops nowadays. They take the three, they miss the three, and then Cooper Flag makes a chuck up three at the buzzer. So what went from 42 to 42 with 28 seconds left was a 6-point deficit at halftime. And I can't tell you how much that shaped the entire second half. Duke came out from the final 28 seconds of that first half. They made 14 of 17 shots. And that's how their lead ballooned up to 17 points last night. And I thought we were all dead. As an Arizona backer, I thought we were dead. And I kept thinking the entire time, I go, just imagine if that three didn't hit at the end of the buzzer. How much different the entire world would look, right? Every 8-point deficit would be 5. Things would feel different, right? I mean, every time they got to around 8 or 9, I'm like, God, I'd love to be at 5 or 6 right now. Luckily, Arizona did enough to get back within a number and make it actually a little bit sweaty for Duke backers, or at least for Duke fans, as far as winning the game is concerned. And we got a little bit lucky last night. Texas Tech sucked ass. My God, they were terrible for 30 minutes of that basketball game. We'll take the overtime. We'll take the win with the over. But my God, they were terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good. I'm just glad that they came back. I don't know if this ever happens, but if you're not having a good day on the board, you sort of just go numb eventually.
Hmm.
And I was just texting with a buddy about something that was completely unrelated to sports. And I looked up, I said, well, hot damn, Texas Tech's kind of cutting into this. I'm like, I'm sure they're just not gonna, because I needed not only the over, I needed them to win. I had half of them as a money line parlay as well. Uh, and I saw they're down 6. I'm like, oh, they're really gonna tease us, huh? And lo and behold, they actually forced overtime, won, game went over. So that was an okay start. Maryland, unfortunately, should have just bet them in the first half. They played them. Maryland actually couldn't have asked for a better first half. Florida just kept giving the ball
I don't
away.
know. They
They're
got
just like,
down
here.
by like 11 or 12 early, right?
Yeah, but then they came right back because Florida turned it over 13 times in the first half.
Yeah. They were very sloppy.
A Florida team, a Florida team that maybe you and I don't have the same view on, but
We
that's a
don't,
different
look,
story for a
we
different
can
day.
talk about it right now. You don't think they're that good. I think that they are.
I think they're the fourth best team in the country, which is pretty good. But I think they're the fourth best team in the country.
Well, then they're still better than everybody else in the bracket that they're playing by a considerable margin.
Oh, we'll see. All right, let's talk. By the way, how about Major League Baseball? You had a nice win, and it was a play that we gave out on the show as well. The Pirates' first 5, they put 2 on the board in the top of the 5th. Unfortunately, my client play was the Washington Nationals plus 1.5. Ah, yes, nothing like easing back into the baseball season with a
Uh,
plus 1.5 winner that dies in the 10th inning because you give
Extra
up points.
innings.
Now, let me tell you something. There are a lot of reasons to not like Rob Manfred. Okay, we don't need to list them all right here on the morning wager. You know
I don't
most of
have time
them.
to list them
Uh,
all in the morning wager. It would then be
the
the afternoon
ghost
wager,
ru
and the evening
the
wager,
the
and the late night wager.
And the next day wager, the
Yeah.
Ghost Runner is up there. I would like to shove a Ghost Runner right up, where the sun don't shine from Rob Manfred.
Why?
Thoughts?
Um, look, you have to hate it from a betting perspective. The amount of variance
Yes,
it
it's
puts
wh
in is off the
I hate
charts.
it. It's a very
Off
upsetting.
the charts. It's why it makes it nearly impossible to bet unders in Major League Baseball. Like, just go
Oh,
into it
alright.
knowing that your heart's going to get broken when they go to extras and each team puts up 2 runs
I'm
in the in the in
trying
the
to break
in the 10th
your
inning, and
heart.
all of a sudden, what was a 1-1 game is now it looked like an easy win for an under. Now is a 5-5 game, and like, oh god, I'm sick. So
Let's talk about Friday. 2 baseball looks, like I said, coming up, and then our best bet will be on the Sweet 16. You are taking us north of the border, Baltimore and
yes,
Toronto.
despite
Uh,
all of the consternation between the United States and Canada right now, they are booing the U.S. national anthem, and they are not happy with their neighbors to the south. We have come a long way from Argo, where our friendly neighbors to the north helped us get those hostages out of Iran back in the 80s. One Best Picture, really good movie. I read the book too. You know how you know that that was a good movie? Because you knew the ending and you were still like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen?"
it's always a
Like, you
good sign of that
forget
I
that you
will
know the ending.
co-sign with that.
Yeah,
Yes, when you know the
forget that
ending of
you
a
know the
movie and
ending
it still
and you're just
keeps
like,
you yes.
"Oh god, what's going on next? How does this happen?" Like, that's how you know it's a really good movie. So anyway, um, yesterday the Orioles bust out the whooping sticks, 6 home runs. By the
What
way,
an incredible that was. Well, hold on. What an incredible introduction that was for the Toronto Blue Jays Baltimore Orioles game. That we went back to the Iran hostage situation.
well, I mean, listen, anytime we can make a movie reference here, Senator Arlen Specter, I would like to thank our lovely neighbors from the north, for all their
This is a
thank
bad
you.
Arlen Specter
Oh,
impression.
we've gone so far away from thank you Canada too. Boo United States. It's the tariffs, man. It's all the tariffs. I think we're all feeling the squeeze these days. Oh, I don't care. Because hey guys, don't worry about the tariffs because gambling is recession proof. Gambling is recession proof.
When the
Hey,
producers check the show,
hey,
when the producers go through this show, they are going to say, "We let these people go unsupervised."
hey, hey, if you're allergic to cash, okay, if you're
Hey,
allergic
all
to
right,
cold hard cash,
we're not gonna go
don't
into
buy
that.
these
Okay,
plays.
I just won't go into that. Can we
What
get to
was
the
the other
Orioles and the
stupid?
Blue Jays?
What was the other stupid
Oh,
thing we heard?
we're not gonna get it. I don't want to remind you. I
No,
want you to
I'm
go
gonna
into
go
the
find
Orioles.
it before the end of the show. I forgot what it was. It was somewhere.
Do you have any fantasy baseball
Oh,
drafts to do today or no?
no
Get it out
kidding.
of your system.
No kidding. We are unavailable for last call because we have a fantasy baseball draft. Anyway, speaking of baseball, Orioles and Blue Jays. Two guys who probably are not on your fantasy team, Charlie Morton, Kevin Gosman. Why? Because last year they were bad. But they are the starters here today. Um, Kevin Gosman was a dumpster fire at home last year. He had a 5.02 ERA. He gave up 12 of his 20 home runs at the Rogers Center. Opposing hitters batted 255 off of him compared to 218 on the road. We're going to try to continue to see if this trend goes forward and is as good as we would think it would be. With the Orioles bats being what they are, it's still a really competent lineup from top to bottom. Even with Anthony Santander over in the other dugout now with Toronto. You have to believe Toronto, after getting smoked last night, wants to come back. Hey, Charlie Morton, who I've covered with the Braves for the last 3 or 4 years, it's your feast or famine, Charlie Morton. You're going to get 6 innings, but you're either getting 6 innings of 3 hits and 1 run, or you're going to get 6 innings of 8 hits and 5 runs. I think we get 8 hits and 5 runs here. And oh, by the way, if you look at these teams over the past 3 or 4 years in this series, the Orioles have averaged nearly 6 runs a game, and the Blue Jays have averaged nearly 4 runs a game. At the Rogers Center last year, it was 5.6 for the Orioles, 3.9 for the Blue Jays. That's enough runs here for it to get us over 8.5. We'll will stay in the offensive plus column here between the Orioles and Blue Jays and go over 8.5 between those two people, those two teams. And that's all I have time for here because I have to go do a fantasy baseball draft immediately right after this show.
I I don't. Somebody help me. Well, somebody. I have no one to help me actually right now. I'm not going to get into the behind the scenes machinations of this program, but Mark
Very
Zinno
good
is
program.
untethered,
Most popular one
unleashed,
of talk.
doing whatever the hell. The guy goes 3-0 again last night, and he just feels like he can do whatever he wants. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right
Hey,
now is I'm going to tell you to bet the Seattle Mariners and the Athletics first five under because they only combined for one run in the first five yesterday. Seattle poured a few on late for a 4-2 win. I don't hate the under full game here again after a 4-2 result on opening day that went the Mariners by only 8 hits in yesterday's game between Seattle and Oakland. Mark, but again, there was only one run scored in the first five innings. I like the first five under here between the Mariners and the Athletics. Jeffrey Springs, remember him? He is the southpaw. He is on the mound for the Athletics. Can't call him anything besides the Athletics this year. So no, they have no home. Don't
yeah,
want to be called Oakland.
that's kind
They're
of
in
weird.
Sacramento. It's
Just
so
the
we're gonna keep
Athletics.
saying
Yes.
Athletics. Jeffrey Springs, you know what you can call him over his last five starts of 2024 was very good. He gave up
Oh,
3 runs or fewer in each of those five starts. As a matter of fact, he gave up one or less in four of those five. He made it the full 5 innings in four of them. Going for Seattle today, on the other hand, Luis Castillo, he also had a strong finish last year. He gave up 2 runs or fewer each of his last 3 starts. One of those was against the Athletics. Wound up going 7 innings there. I just look, it's early in the season, right? Pitchers are ahead of the hitters. You get the best arms out of the bullpen. Nobody's tired. Uh, don't hate full game under, but my official half a double play is the first five under here between the Athletics and the Mariners. Please smash that like button if you agree. Comment down below if you have a different thought.
hmm.
Sure, you have thoughts on something.
I have a lot of thoughts. I want to thank all the wonderful fine viewers of this program for your continued and unwavering support. And I'm excited for tonight. I have a five
A
percent
big
play
play.
tonight.
Would you like to talk about it? Yeah, a
Yeah,
big play.
five
Want to talk
percent play
about it?
tonight. 5%er. Go get it. It's going to be fun.
Off a
It's going
3-0
to be very
sweep. He's
stressful.
a big, strong boy.
9-1, and ever since that 0-3 game last Friday that we had in the tournament, we have bounced back quite well. 9-1 run since then. So
My God.
let's try to avoid an 0-3 game again. I don't know if I'll add a second one tonight. I feel like I want to. I feel like I feel like I want to. So there may be a second play up in the Sweet 16 tonight.
Might it be this? I don't know. Our show best bet is going to be Auburn minus 4.5 in the first half against Michigan. Another reason I'm not wearing the old
Yeesh.
jacket here today because we're betting against Michigan. Auburn, Zinno, has yet to play a good first half. They sort of were screwing around against Alabama State in the first round. They could afford to do that, obviously, because they're
Mhm.
much more talented. But they were actually trailing at
Yep.
the half
Creighton,
against
37-35.
Creighton. I remember that because I was on Auburn full game. Luckily, uh, the Tigers played a strong second half and pulled away late for a win and cover there. Every Michigan game ends up close, it seems, unless if they lose badly, right? So you and I were going back and forth on this game. Auburn's had some time off. We think that we think that they're going to have their most focused first half effort yet. We are laying it in the first half here with Bruce Pearl's squad.
Not for nothing, for what it's worth. um, Texas A&M dominated the first half of that game against Michigan. They really did. Like, I know it was only a 4-point game at half, but they controlled the tempo and the flow of that first half. And Michigan is this zombie that won't die. And again, we keep going. I keep going on and on about what the 10-point lead that A&M had. 60-50 with 13 minutes left, and then got outscored 41-19 the rest of the way. It's unreal how Michigan went on that run. Nonetheless, this should be where it ends, right? Like this feels like it should be where it ends, but you know, um, Auburn has to play a good first half. They can't. As Brian Power likes to say, they can't play with their food here. This is not the team you want to do it against. They've been too dangerous to too many teams and have really caused a lot of problems. So don't let this Michigan team hang around. But a very good first start from the Auburn Tigers should be a way for them to separate themselves from the zombie that is the Wolverines.
Maybe I'm overthinking things here, but just to share some more thoughts. If Auburn wins this game in a blowout, certainly you would think a strong first 20 minutes would be a big part of that. Also, if you think Michigan maybe is due to lose a close game in the end, because Lord knows no team is more due to lose a close game than Michigan, you don't have to worry about that late
One enough
game
close ones, that's for
situation
sure.
because yeah, I mean, now I have said this. I talked about this with Trig on his show yesterday that Michigan had terrible late game variance in the non-conference. They lost to
Yes.
Oklahoma on a 4-point play. So they were due some positive variance in the conference, but it's gone completely crazy. I mean, what they have. So there you go. Auburn first half is our show. Best bet. Get Zinno's 5% play if you haven't already done that. If you haven't, quite frankly, what are you waiting for, man? Like you said, he's on a 9-1 run over the last week. Seeing it quite well. Number one in college basketball this year, I believe you are, Zinno. So congratulations on that. I'll have something as well. I look to make it a winning Sweet 16. We were
You want me to show you number one? Number one?
please don't do that. No, we're not going to do that.
Not
We're not
FCC
gonna do
compliant.
No, we're not. I will look to make
Yeah,
it
we
a
have
winning
to do that.
season. One and one.
Fantasy baseball draft to get to.
Okay, will you put that? All right. By the way, I got the range. I got my the thing just because everyone's going to correct me because they have time to look things up. While they're watching the show. The Rage Against the Machine album cover was a Buddhist monk setting himself on fire as a response to a Buddhist monk being murdered. You shouldn't kill Buddhists, in my opinion. That's just my. That's
I think that was in like Nepal, though, right? Somewhere in Asia.
I don't have the exact filming. I'll tell you what, man. If you're going to set yourself on fire in protest to something, my hat's off to you. My hat's off to you. I mean, I was ready to set myself on fire if Texas Tech didn't come back last night, but still, I mean, wow.
Which album is that?
It's the first one, the self-titled one. It's a man on fire.
I don't see it.
Self-titled. Type in Rage Against the Machine.
I did. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, now I see it. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, now I remember that. Yeah, that's aggressive.
It is aggressive.
Thiek Quan Dirk in June 1963. Resistance to South Vietnamese persecution of Buddhists.
It's certainly one way to make a statement. Another way you can make a statement, guys, is by
nobody put him out, did they?
On YouTube channel. What's that? Oh, I don't think they did.
Seems less than ideal.
Again, a much lesser statement you can make is by clicking that subscribe.
My man Zinno delivers, bringing us together.